Hey everyone, welcome back to the Morgan Homestead. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Sandy. And today on this beautiful March day, we are going to talk about the top 10 problems with homesteading. So if you've been following us, you know that we sold our home in the cities in 2020 and we moved to our property and started homesteading and farming. We don't have a background in this. We didn't really know how to do anything when we started, so we thought we would start the YouTube channel and kind of try to encourage people, if you're older like us with no knowledge on this, kind of to prove to you that you can do it too. But we also said we were going to show you all the good and the bad and everything, and we haven't really been talking about things that go wrong a lot. We do talk about our things in the garden that go wrong, but we want to just kind of talk to you if you're new or thinking about getting into this way of life, some of the things that may go wrong, some of the things that might be a problem. And these are in no particular order, so I put them all in a bowl here. We're just going to be pulling them out randomly and talking about them. So, Kev, why don't you pull the first one?
Can't leave animals.
Yeah, that's a big one, wouldn't you say?
Well, yeah. I mean, we used to be able to go, for a weekend or something somewhere, fishing, snowmobiling, and it's, those types of things. Ice fishing. We didn't do any ice fishing this year. One problem with that, though, was because we had so much snow, and the ice in a lot of the lakes just wasn't safe to bring big rigs and stuff out on them.
Yeah, I mean, there's no break. I mean, even when you're sick, you have to get up, you have to go feed the animals, you have to take care of them. They have to come first. So if you're going to have animals on your homestead, that's something to really think about. I mean, our kids are too far away. We can't have them come for the weekend if we want to go on a weekend trip or something, but that is a big drawback for us, just simply because we love to go snowmobiling. We love to go ice fishing way up Lake of the Woods and spend, maybe 3 to 5 days on the ice just camping out, and we haven't been able to do that this year, but we're going to figure that out. We're trying to establish a community here and amongst neighbors and other homesteaders in the area, and maybe even family members eventually, when we're all set up, will come up and watch the place for us so we can take off for a weekend. So that's one thing.
It might be a getaway for families. If some of our family members want to get away for a weekend, they could come up here and help us out. Not just to visit us, but if we had to go somewhere.
Right. So, I mean, that's one problem that we've encountered. So, I'll pull the next one. Okay, plans don't always come to fruition. And this one is regarding, it's so difficult to plan. Especially like this year with the snow. I mean, we're already at the end of March. I've got some seeds started indoors, but I don't know. Who knows when we're going to get stuff in the garden this year. It's going to be a late start. If you're kind of really trying to homestead full time and grow all your own food, this is something that can, cause a problem because.
Well, yeah. I mean, we don't know. We still have over 2 feet of snow on the ground right now, and it's towards the end of March. And so you don't know. That's all got to go away. The ground's got to thaw before you can even start tilling for gardens or anything like that. Right.
And it's not just the weather. It's also time. I mean, if you've got to have the time to do those things, and you've got to have the money to do those things. So, I mean, there's a lot that goes into, growing your own food and your own animals. But it's just, you have to be prepared that things aren't going to go in a perfect manner the way that you envision them or plan them.
Right.
So,
I mean, then the same thing goes for if something happens. You can't just leave it. You gotta fix it. You gotta stop doing what you're doing and fix that or do something else.
right,
If something comes up.
right. Okay, Kev, your turn.
Predators.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had a huge predator problem on our farm yet, knock on wood, other than squirrels.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had any problems with our livestock, other than we did lose a couple of chickens. We think to raccoons, but we haven't had any wolves or coyote problems or the larger predator problems. But squirrels, yes. I mean, right now I keep all my pig feed in these large plastic garbage bins, really. And it's a heavy plastic, but the squirrels chew right through it and get inside of it.
Yeah, that's frustrating. We bought them, we thought they were heavy enough and that they wouldn't get through.
Yeah, it's really thick plastic.
Yeah. I mean, and our chickens, when they go into the coop, they're very well trained. They go into the coop and we lock them up every night. Our coop is secure. We've had no problems once our chickens are in the coop. The only time we've lost chickens is when they were stubborn and went out into the woods and decided to lay on eggs out in the woods, and we couldn't find them.
They wouldn't go back in at night.
Yeah, they wouldn't come back, and we searched and couldn't find them. And then, obviously a predator got a hold of them after that. We've only lost, I think, 2 hens that way.
Yes.
And one hen came out of the woods with 15 baby chicks, and the predator we tried to get them and couldn't get them in. It was very frustrating. And predator not only got the hen, but all the chicks eventually, because we couldn't catch them. But I know for a lot of places, a lot of homesteaders, predators is a big issue. So it's something to at least think about if you're thinking of getting into this way of life. You've got to make sure you've got secure places for your animals. Okay. Next, you have to learn a lot, and you have to learn a lot of new skills. So you have to be willing to do the work, the research, right, Kev?
Yeah, I mean, if there's something you don't know how to do, or something comes up and you need to get it done and you don't have the skill to do it, I mean, you have to research it. I mean, YouTube is a very good resource for stuff like that. Search the internet. I watch a lot of videos on things that I haven't done before.
Yeah, and it's just whenever you're going to get an animal on your farm or your property, you have to research the heck out of those animals, get books, watch videos, read. You have to know what to look for. You have to know how to properly care for them. You have to know what to do if they get sick. You have to know all these things. So you have to be willing to put in the time before you get the animals. Really.
Yeah, I mean, you got to know, what type of infrastructure you need before you get that animal, that make sure that it's secure enough so you're not having problems with them getting out or something getting in.
And the best type of feed. I mean, we've done a lot of research. Like our pigs, we feed
Every
them
animal's different.
Our Idaho pasture pigs have a very specific diet. Other than, I mean, obviously they feed off the pasture in the summer, but
yeah, they need specific minerals to keep them healthy.
Right. So, I mean, you just have to be willing to do the research and learn a lot of things. All right. Is it your turn or mine?
Your turn.
Okay. Your family thinks you're crazy. And that's something that, I don't know. I don't care if they think we're crazy, but it's just, it's kind of funny to us. I don't know. I personally put out a lot of time in notifying everyone of what we're doing, and I thought maybe I'd get more interest, but I mean, everyone's busy. Nobody really cares. We've got chickens and pigs, and I don't know. Maybe eventually when we build up more of a homestead, we'll get more interest with family, but I think they think we're crazy. Like, what are you stocking up? Do you think it's the end of the world or something? And it's like, no, nothing like that. We just are really interested in growing our own food and knowing where our food comes from and knowing that it doesn't have a lot of crap in it that a lot of the food that you buy in the stores has. So that's kind of where our interest in homesteading came from and why we're doing it. But we're gonna hopefully get some family out this summer and have more interest. I'd like this to be a place where people want to come to learn more about what we're doing in our way of life and see our animals and our homestead and have it be a good get-together place for the family. So that's kind of my hope for the future. What do you think?
I haven't put
nothing
that.
to add?
No, I mean, I haven't put that much thought into it. I'm not that worried about it,
I'm not worried about it. I said that. I'm not worried about it. In the back of my mind, I think they must think we're crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe not. Okay, go ahead.
Oops. Everything breaks.
Yes.
It sure does.
It sure does.
So you gotta be a jack of all trades. You gotta be able to fix things. You can't afford to have things or be without things. So you need to fix these things as soon as they break. It's hard to take it somewhere. Everybody's busy. You can't get it in places a lot of times. So you got to be willing to do it yourself.
I mean, we started I think it was last year. Anyway, with our Commander breaking, and it was used when we bought it. So, and we didn't know what was wrong with it. Kevin didn't know a lot about it, so we did bring that in and have it fixed, and that was like a $3,000 bill.
Yeah, it scored the cylinder. Actually, the intake breather or whatever it is, I don't really know that much about it, but it got a crack in it, so it ran really lean and it fried one of the cylinders, and yeah, so that's why it was kind of an expensive fix. And we were without that thing for 2 months at least.
Right.
A long time. I mean, it's not that essential of a tool. It's nice to have.
Yeah.
It was nice to be able to run around with that instead of driving your vehicles around or the tractor around. But we were without that for over 2 months.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm lucky, we're lucky anyways, that Kevin is willing to do a lot of the work in fixing most of the things that break around here. He's had to work on my car. He's had to completely tear down his truck.
Yeah, the timing chain stretched on my truck, so it was throwing a code, and then it would go into limp mode. So I had to tear the front of the motor apart and pull out that. Yeah, it was a big job.
There's we can put a couple of pictures here of the motor. He had it tore down completely. I mean, I was so worried that he wasn't going to be able to put everything back. How would you remember where everything goes? I don't know. I mean, I'm a puzzler. I do puzzle all the time, but I would never remember where everything goes. But anyway, I was so worried about that. But he fixed it, saved us thousands of dollars on fixing his truck himself. But I mean, as far as homestead equipment, he's had to fix our skid steer multiple times.
Yeah, it's down right now.
It's down right now. He's had to work on our forklift. Our wood splitter broke right when he needed to split all the wood, of course. That broke, so he had to fix that. Tractor, I'm sure you've probably had to fix. The big thing that we pick up pigs with, what's that thing called?
Pick up pigs? Trailer? I'm not picking any pigs up. Those things are heavy.
Okay, wait.
I put the list over here. I had a whole list. Is it? Oh, it's right here.
Okay, what is it called? It's just called a trailer?
The trailer?
Yes, the thing that we pick the pigs up in.
The stock trailer, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, and he's also fixed our trailer that we use to haul livestock in. He's had to completely fix that and put on new tires and all that, beef that up. He's worked on our snowmobiles. Things break constantly, so you have to be prepared and ready, at least be willing to learn. I mean, he's lucky that this day and age we have YouTube. There's the internet. You can look up how to fix things. Like my dad, when we called him the fixer guy because he could fix anything as well. He was just like Kevin. But he didn't have the internet. He didn't have YouTube. He just had to figure it out. And he just kind of tinkered with things and just figured it out. I mean, it's just amazing to me. I can't believe it. But I mean, things are always breaking around here. Our syrup maker, I'm not sure we're going to do syrup this year.
No, I mean, I should be out tapping trees right now. And I had planned on rebuilding my the sap cooker and last fall, but I never got around to it because there were so many other things breaking that I was working on or getting ready for, or preparing for winter. So I never got it done, and now it's buried in snow, and there's no way I can do it right now.
No, so unfortunately, I'm really bummed about that, and I think our kids are too, because the syrup is amazing. Nothing better than homemade syrup. And then we had a temporary roof built over the sawmill out back, and the whole roof and everything caved in.
We had so much snow this year, and that temporary structure was never meant to last this long anyway. I didn't build it to last this long.
No.
I always planned on or thought I'd finish that building before now, but so things came up and I just never got around to doing it. But the snow, we had so much snow, and the snow was so heavy and it just collapsed in. So now it's forcing me to do something like it this year.
Yeah, we don't have a choice now. So, but I guess my point about things breaking all the time is you have to be willing to learn how to fix things, or know somebody, or maybe you have the money to have somebody else fix everything. We don't. So we have to figure that out. But I don't know. It's just, it's hard sometimes. And the tough thing is he's so busy fixing everything that we're not getting a lot of the work done inside the house here that we had planned on doing all winter long. So it's kind of slowed everything up because he's so busy working on everything else. So,
along with my other everyday chores.
Yes, exactly. All right, so what's next? Isolated. You're isolated and alone. And that's something that takes a little bit of getting used to. If you're like us, I mean, we moved an hour and a half away from our kids, and it's difficult for people to get away to come see us. And as we've mentioned, we have a hard time getting away to see other people. You're kind of, I mean, we're tucked away here. We have 80 acres kind of in the middle of nowhere. And so you're isolated, and it takes some getting used to a little bit. I mean, Kevin loves it.
I love it.
I have a little bit of a hard time with not being, the lack of socialization. I used to be able to go lean on the fence and talk to my next door neighbor all the time. And so I miss that. Yeah. And I miss my kids stopping by. I'm getting emotional. Yeah, that's hard. But we are working on building a community here. We've already met some other homesteaders in the area. We went and visited Virna Farms and met Eliza, and she introduced us to her beautiful pigs. And we can show a little clip here of her piglets that we saw. She also is a flower farmer, so that's interesting. And we're going to visit her this summer and see her flowers. So give her a like and a follow. We can tag her down below in the credits, and we're also planning on visiting some other farms and meeting some other people in the area that are doing what we're doing. So that should help with my isolating feeling. Kevin doesn't care. Okay, your turn.
It's expensive.
It's very expensive. I mean, talk about infrastructure.
Yeah, when you're starting from scratch.
Yeah.
I mean, if you didn't have anything, which we didn't. I mean, we had the property, which was one of the big expenses that we didn't have to worry about. But all the infrastructure for the animals, the equipment, the tractors, the skid steers, this and that. It's just getting all that stuff for the first time is expensive. Yes.
Well, and not only the equipment and everything. I mean, setting up your homestead. I mean, we put in a well. We put in
building a house.
Yeah, building a house.
That was a big one.
We built the house. We put in a well. We put in a septic system. All of those things are extremely expensive. So it's something you really have to look into and be prepared if you're buying land and starting from scratch. If that's, and we're also going to put up a solar system. We've got that mostly together, but
yeah, I have most of what I need for that. I just have to find the time to set it up.
And livestock is incredibly expensive. And yes, you can pick up chickens, little baby chicks, super cheap.
Yeah, chickens are cheap. Ducks,
But you go to buy pigs and you go to buy, you start looking
livestock.
into getting cows, which is what we really want to do, and maybe some goats and things like that. And it's a lot of money. You really have to plan for it and you have to be prepared. Now, before we get cows, we have to make sure that we've got a good fencing system and a secure area for them. Goats is another thing that you've got to really have a secure.
Yeah, goats is a tough one because they can get out of anything.
Right.
So you really have to have good fencing for them.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's expensive. So maybe if you're thinking about getting into this, really write down what your priorities. I mean, we're going into year 3. I mean, we had hoped to have more animals at this point, but we're really focusing on building up our pig.
Yeah, I think right now we just want to kind of concentrate and get really good at the one thing. With the one larger animal, which is the pig. We had really hoped to get cows this year, and I still haven't decided against getting cows yet this year. It really depends on how far we get with the infrastructure.
Right. So we're going to work towards that. We're not going to give up hope on that.
No.
But anyway, it's expensive. So, all right. The last thing is, there's 2 more. It's hard to wait for the things that you want, and that kind of ties into what we were just talking about. At least for me, for Kevin too, I think. Waiting is mostly it's for the animals. We have to wait before we get cows. We have to be set up for that. We got to learn about it.
We got to learn, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of process before you can just go buy a cow,
right?
Or go buy a pig. You really have to know what you're doing, and you got to have everything in place.
Yeah, and even gardening, I have to wait. I have to have the space for it. I have to know what I'm going to be planting or trying to grow. I have to know how to grow it. Things don't grow when you think they're going to. You have to wait for a lot of things. So now we're waiting for the darn snow to melt. But anyway, I think it's hard. You expect to just boom, you're going to do all this right away. Well, no, it's going to take time, and you have to be patient.
All right, this is the last one.
This is the last one, yeah.
It's hard work, hard on your body.
It's very hard. Kevin's already had knee surgery.
Yeah.
He's going in to have some work.
Having some problems with my hands.
Problems with his hands. I mean, physically, he does a lot of pretty much all of the physical hard work. I'm going to give him props for all of that. I work a full-time office job here at home, but he's out there working and breaking his back all day, every day, and it's...
I mean, I don't have a lot of problem with my back.
No.
My hands aren't only from doing this work either. I think a lot of my hand problems were from my computer job that I had, my engineering job, before doing this.
Yeah. Well, your knees, though, I think were definitely from building the house and things.
Yeah, that could have been, yeah.
I mean, we're not spring chickens. I'm 60. He's a little younger than me.
58.
I know how old you were. I wasn't sure if you wanted to say. Anyway, I'm 60 and I'm proud of it. I don't care. But so at the time when most people are retiring, we're just starting a lot of things that people would probably want to wait and do when they were younger.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, and it's harder for us right now too because we started from scratch. I mean, we didn't buy a farm, move in, and have everything already there, and just buy animals and put them into places. We're actually having to build it up.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot.
And once we get it built up, though,
right?
Then it won't be as hard.
It won't be as physical.
Right.
We think.
Well, I mean, you're still going to have your chores, the things you got to do to take care of the animals, and things are going to break. Things do break.
trying to get one pig from one pen to another, we found out was very difficult.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
One thing about the pigs is, one thing, they are pig-headed.
They're very pig-headed.
And if they don't want to do something, you're not going to make them do it. But the other thing I found out is when you have them on electric fencing and you have electric across the gate opening, even if you take that fence away, they still will not cross that line. They just won't. They won't do it.
Stubborn. Yeah, Kevin has spent a lot of time too on the pig infrastructure, and I mean, we could do a whole video on just trying to keep the pigs in their area, and I don't know.
Now there's a lot of learning curve there too. I mean,
and different pigs. I mean, we brought a pig from our boar that we bought, Big Red. He will not drink out of the nipple waters, where we have no problem with our other pigs with that. So Kevin had to devise a whole nother watering system just for Red, you know. So different pigs have different needs. But so anyway, we just thought it was a good idea to talk about these things. If you're new to homesteading, thinking of getting into it, we just kind of wanted to tell you what our takeaways were just these first couple years doing it. And maybe if you're a regular homesteader and have been doing it, you're an experienced homesteader, maybe you can give us some tips and suggestions for the problems that we are having, or maybe even just encourage us that, you know, along the way that it's going to get better. But so going forward, I just wanted to mention two things. One thing, we just recently got a new pig on the property, helping out a friend who is downsizing her farm, and so we brought on pregnant. We believe she's pregnant, right?
We're hoping she is.
Yeah, she thought she was pregnant. Her name is Cedar. So we brought her on. We'll show you a little clip of that, and then on the outro here. And we wanted to dedicate this particular video to Kevin's mom, who passed away on the 12th of March. She lost her battle with cancer. So this video is dedicated to Shirley. And thanks for joining us. And we hope to see you on the next video, where we are going to talk about all the great things about homesteading, not the problems, but all the benefits and the wonderful things about homesteading.
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot. So thanks for joining us.
Bye for now.
Hey, Cedar. Snoozing. This is Sneak Cedar, our new sow. We think she's pregnant. Just got here a couple weeks ago. Hey, Cedar. What are you doing?